Bien, rebonjour et bienvenue à l'inauguration de ce showroom LIP Novum et dans notre centre Leclerc à Ville et j'espère que vous aurez une très belle visite. Merci.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For all the Caymans, so we were working with AHT before, and so it was lower consumption than usual, but the goal here was to refit the whole setup.
Yeah.
And the Novum models were on paper the best, so we went for it. So it was less of a change for us because we already had the electrical systems.
Sure.
But we definitely saw as well when we compared a decreased consumption. What was interesting though is that in terms of maintenance, the previous version was definitely getting dirtier and more clogged, whereas this one after 6 months was quite clear. So it's definitely doing its job quite well.
That's good. Yeah.
So that's one of the good parts, and especially seeing how low, and there's usually a lot of traffic of people
Yeah, of course.
walking by.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
it
Yeah.
tends to get quite dirty, but luckily it's staying quite clean.
What-
Here, as you can see, we're walking into the big environment of the Panamas. The goal was to stay with the previous setup in terms of where all the products were put. So we didn't change the layout. But the benefit of the Panamas being slimmer than the previous ones was that we actually won a little bit of space in the alleys. So we managed to gain about 10-15 centimeter by alley, which is really important.
Spots. Yeah.
Exactly, which is really important because it gives us more room to work in the mornings.
Yeah.
Especially noting that all the doors are going to be open between 5 a.m. up until 7:30, 8 o'clock to refill. So we push them quite hard, and so far none of them have failed. So it's working really well.
Yeah.
In terms of setup, the coolers are movable quite easily with just one pallet puller.
Yeah.
And the new system of charred safety bars is also quite movable quite easily. So we can just lift it up. So it's a lot easier to move around it.
Yeah.
And I know
the door is very. I think it's very clean.
so we
Doors are very well.
so we work exactly. So we
Yeah.
try and maintain a good
Hygiene.
a good hygiene with all the product, all the doors and everything, because black being gets dirtier more easily. And the goal is to have really a spotless view. The fact that you've got glass doors means that you want to have the product visible as much as possible. And it's just nicer.
Looks great.
So every morning after work, they clean them. And sales have
different.
no drop because there was a worry of losing some linear length.
Yeah.
And we've lost a little bit of linear length, but the sales are the same or still going up in volume. So definitely it's still going along the trend that we had before the change. So it's not it didn't affect it. No, we didn't.
No, so it's a big
So
shift.
it was a big shift as well in terms of organization.
Yeah.
But we're already working towards like improving the way we work. So we already had like more localized pallets of storage.
If you're numbering.
And then, the good thing as well in terms of checking when we're walking around in the evenings, closing the shop, is that you've got immediate visibility on every door. So you know if there's an issue somewhere.
Sure.
So it's nice and visible, and that's quite important to maintain.
Perfect.
And then, I mean, the main thing is what you can hear is the only noise you can hear is mostly from the rooftops,
Yeah.
which are here for the heating, the cooling, but
It's really
the actual coolers are
very good.
pretty much
Yeah.
silent.
Oh,
So it's very nice.
Yeah.
Basically here, compared to most other supermarkets, we don't do facing, so we don't necessarily line up. We have to fill the shelves quite high, as much as we can. So the guys are working this afternoon and refilling. And as you can see here, the products are going to be completely frost-free. They're at the right temperature. And it's still very much easy to access despite the door. You've got the locking system, which allows them to work with two hands rather than having to hold the door. And so far, we've got quite a lot of storage for the bigger rotations. So the products that we put at the bottom are going to be not necessarily along the usual logics of implantation into an aisle, but more about the ones where we struggle to keep up in refilling. So we've got more storage here for those products that are gonna be really high rotations. So basically on these ones, the main benefit is that the previous ones that we had a lot of ice buildup and frost buildup. And here, well, we fill them quite a lot. We fill them up as sometimes over the limit, and there's not been a single buildup of ice, at least on the compressors. So this is a big benefit because the coolers can work properly at all times. And the products stay nice and cold at their temperature, their negative temperatures. And the main benefit is that I don't have to wake up at night to come and empty it to maintain the product's quality.
Any particular products that are hard to manage? Stuff, frozen vegetables are probably quite easy.
Most of these, but even in terms of, for us, again, it's always about being able to keep up with the demand.
Of course.
So by the end of the day, most of these products usually are empty. They'll be sold out.
Yeah.
The chips as well tend to go really fast. So it's about being able to.
No.
We got ice cream just on the other aisle there. Yeah. So I mean, these were full this morning. So they'll refill tomorrow morning and then tomorrow afternoon. So Fridays, Saturdays they work morning and afternoon.
Yeah.
And then usually the rest of the week they work until midday to try and refill as much as possible. Obviously, we try and take into account the comfort, the working comfort, and the balance.
Of course, yeah.
So to keep the hours reasonable.
Yeah.
But
looks
yeah,
brilliant.
so it's really building up. And in terms of lighting, the fact that we wanted the lateral opening rather than the push one is in terms of visibility of product visibility is better.
Yeah.
So you've got a much better screen, and the lighting also means that you've got better product visibility.
That's great.
So this is the Leclerc brand. So it's to compete with Magnum and Carte d'Or, and it's one of those few products which actually benefited quite well during the inflation crisis because the national brands have gone up so much in price.
Yeah.
Whereas these ones we had better control.
Yeah.
And so these ones are working pretty well. So these ones can do negative.
Yeah.
The issue is more with with those ones where some of the doors are not working as well anymore, and they're on the remote system. So
how long would you have that doors in?
7 years. So since the launch of the supermarket, and so that's why we're seriously considering changing up the whole face on the other side of the butchers as well.
I saw that side, yeah.
So the full face as well as the verticals, but these will be with Galilei.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And to have a closed door and have full length tablets as well, because we're missing quite a lot of storage for these ones, and then for the salads as well. There for the salads in bags.
Perfect.
Here's a little video showing the ultra low heat rejection. So we just went around the store with a thermometer to note the 20.7 degrees, the ambient temperature in the store, and even up at the units, up 20.8, 20.9. No massive heat rejection from it. And same then with the noise. We can turn this up. We measured the ambient noise throughout the store, and I went down through the aisles of Panama cases, and the ambient noise level was the same, if not actually lower.